So now I've caught my horse and he's quite happy to be involved with doing something with me today. I'm going to get started on making sure that he's really confident with me. Now I know that Apollo is quite a confident horse, so I don't think he's going to have too much problem with this, but you never know, something might happen. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that I can touch him everywhere. So I'm just going to use my hands for this. If you're unsure, if you've got a new horse, you've got a horse who you know is a little bit funny about certain areas being touched, then I recommend that you use your stick for this, okay? But I'm just going to use my hands because I know him pretty well. I know that he's quite confident and I can trust him. So I'm just going to start somewhere really easy, come up here on his withers, give him a good scratch, make it feel good. Everything you do with your horse, you want it to feel nice to them. You want them to enjoy it. So I'm just going to touch all those easy areas and make sure he's okay with all that. He says, yep, that's no problem. So then we might go to somewhere that's a little bit more difficult, maybe under his belly. No problem there. Good, and I'm just kind of testing, just seeing if he does have a problem, then I'll deal with it. Down his legs. It's all good. And I want you to notice how I keep my body, especially when I'm touching areas that he might have a problem with. I'm not going to face him straight on like this, because if he was to get upset and push into me or kick out, I'm going to find it really easy to fall backwards. Whereas if I'm side on like this, I can step out the way a lot easier and a lot more safely. So think about that while you're playing with your horse. So even when I'm crouching down here, notice how I crouch, because I can move out a lot easier. If I'm kneeling, which I'm not going to do because it's not safe, he could very easily push me over. Good boy. I'm just going to do the other side now.
Lots of horses have trouble around their mouth and their ears, so also make sure that he's confident with you, putting your hands all over his mouth and his muzzle, maybe just in the corners of his mouth as well, and then also all around his ears. If you find your horse does have a problem with any of this, with any area that you touch, the best thing to do is approach and retreat. So try to keep your hand on your horse, just gently, just touching, until he relaxes and he realises that he doesn't need to worry. Now, if he's really upset about it, then obviously you need to take it very, very slowly. And again, this is where you might want to use your stick rather than your hand to ensure that you're keeping yourself at a safe distance. But just try to keep that hand or that stick there, just very gently resting on him until he relaxes. And at that point, you want to take your hand away. Keep doing that over and over again with real consistency and repetition until your horse is fully relaxed with it straight away. By using approach and retreat, you're not only building confidence in your horse, but you're also teaching him what it is that you're wanting. So as soon as you take your hand away, he realises that what he's done is right. And at the moment, the answer is standing still and relaxing. That's all we're looking for. So basically, as soon as you take your hand away, that is releasing the pressure. And for horses, anything that they don't like, if you're doing something they don't like, then that's pressure. Even though at the moment we're just touching him very, very gently with our hands, it might not feel like pressure, but it's mental and emotional pressure for him if he doesn't like it, if he's not sure about it or he's worried about it. So by taking your hand away when he does the right thing, that's the release of pressure. You also want to make sure that your horse is very happy and confident with you standing in all different areas of his body. So that also includes being behind him. A lot of horses have trouble with people standing behind them because you're in a blind spot, they can't quite see what it is that you're doing, so they need to trust you to allow you to stand there. So try this out. Again, keep yourself at a safe distance. If you're using a 12-foot line, you want to be right at the end of it now. And just stand there, really relax, keep your energy down, because all you want your horse to do is stand and relax. You don't want him to do anything other than that. Again, use exactly the same technique. If your horse is unsure, you can walk in and out of that zone, back to somewhere he's confident, and then back to behind him again, and keep doing that until your horse relaxes.